America's funniest home videos will not be seen tonight due to the following Jet TV special presentation. Welcome to the biggest night in Erie television. In 1 hour, ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition airs its 2-hour episode featuring Erie's own Clara Ward. First, meet the people who began to tell Clara's story. The family who brought together a community of volunteers and builders. A young woman whose own challenges didn't stop her from being part of the build. Volunteers who helped Clara's neighbors. How the remarkable spirit of generosity continues to shape our community and more. Welcome to Erie's Makeover, the stories behind the story. And now live from the private viewing party at the Ambassador Center, Jet TV's Sean Lafferty and Selena Wiles.
Welcome to the Ambassador Banquet and Conference Center on Upper Peach Street. It is our pleasure to be here. As you just heard, I'm Sean Lafferty with Selena Wiles, my co-anchor on Action News 24. And I'll tell you what, it is an exciting night here, and you can't help but feel the excitement.
Oh my. Good evening, everyone. This is exciting, Sean. I know a lot of us couldn't be a part of what was happening. By the end of this hour-long special, you're going to feel like you were there. You're going to feel like you were just as involved as these volunteers here this evening.
Absolutely. The key to this hour is what you just heard in the title, the stories behind the story. Between 8 and 10 o'clock, ABC will do an amazing job of showing you the build, of showing you what went into that absolutely remarkable week at the end of June and beginning of July when Erie came together in this what can only be described as once-in-a-lifetime community-wide effort to make a dream come true.
Absolutely, and it took a builder to help make that dream come true. And we have him here with us this evening.
Absolutely. Let's bring in John Molino. Earlier tonight, while we were here at the viewing party, I described you as Mr. Possible because it took you and, as you've humbly pointed out, a lot of people to make this dream possible for Clara. What is it like to be standing here right now about to watch it on national television?
It's very exciting. It's exciting to be able to think that in just an hour or so, the entire nation is going to see the Erie community as we believe and know that it always has been, a very giving community.
And it's absolutely that way, and you have to be so amazingly proud of what it is that everybody came together and did.
3,000 people, not just us or our company, but over 250 companies coming together for one common cause.
Remarkable. We'll be talking a lot to you as the show goes on. Thanks a lot, John. And you know what? We want to start, I guess appropriately enough, at the very beginning.
That's right, Sean. You know, people are going to learn about Clara in just a couple of hours here on ABC, but there are people in Erie who knew what Clara was doing for her community long before ABC rolled into town. This is how Clara got chosen in the first place.
There's no story like this Clara Ward story. There's no story that I've ever done or been exposed to that reveals that paradox, that mystery of life and death, of triumph in the midst of tribulation. You know, there are a lot of folks in this country who are going through that tribulation who are never going to have a house built for them. There are a lot of folks who are hungry and poor, and they have no hope because there's only one Extreme Makeover, and it's only once a week, and she was privileged to be in the right place at the right time, or divine providence put her in that light. But anybody who sees this hopefully can get that idea that there's a value beyond the house. And that is a value that we're given in our capacity to make a difference in other people's lives. I heard that from her again and again and again.
When I was a teenager, I was savagely raped by soldier boys. I had to fight off people that were supposed to be my relatives. I was in foster care, and after that I was, battered and all that, but God took care of me.
This Erie-ality internet documentary is all the ABC network needed to see of the Clara Ward story. The video, along with the nominations sent in by the Kemper family, tells the remarkable story of this woman who overcame unbelievable odds and whose mission in life is to give to children in the community. The story is remarkable, it's heartwarming, and now it's finally being told to the world.
I started this little toy drive at work with friends, and then once I went to drop the stuff off to her, you know, you're captivated by her. She's just a captivating person. And from that moment on, I said, you know what, I'm going to help this lady out however I can. And so that's kind of how that friendship began. Whatever little means that she has, and that's why she's kind of an inspiration to me, is just, you know, she doesn't have much money, she lives in poverty, you know, all of these obstacles, yet her heart is always about giving. My daughter, from the time she was in 2nd grade, you know, after we would drop toys off, she would say, Mom, why don't we nominate Clara for a home makeover? You know, and she's in the back seat, and I'm like, yeah, you know, good idea, but got things to do, you know, but it was always on her heart. Greg actually called me one day and said, hey, I heard that Extreme Makeover is coming to town. He said, do you still have that application? And I said, yeah. He said, well, get going on it. You know, let's put it in. So he made the initial contact, you know, for ABC. And the cool thing is that immediately they were able to go to his website, or he sent them to his website for Erie, and they were able to see her story right there.
I did anybody I could. I'd stop anybody I could. Give me $1. Give me something to help me get these toys for these kids.
She feels this is her mission to do this, and she goes as far as she can with it, but then she trusts in God and that faith that He will not let her down.
There's no story that I've ever experienced like this story that is so far beyond a person. In a sense, it is an incarnation of Christ's story himself, a person who lived in poverty and transformed the entire world. Clara is a small witness, an example to all of us of that lived in this 21st century.
Before that nomination, though, there was a kind of story behind that story, believe it or not. And to talk more about that and how that nomination got to ABC, and then, of course, as you know, the rest is history, is the general manager and vice president at JET TV, my boss, Tim Dunst. Tim, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it because this is a big part of the story, isn't it? How ABC got in touch with JET, and then it was kind of our job to get the word out to the community and to get this amazing woman the project and the dream come true that she got.
Absolutely, Sean. ABC wanted to raise the amount of applications they had for home makeover around the country, and they called me to say, would you consider running special promotional announcements and news announcements to gain applications from the Erie region? And I said, absolutely. So we ran some news stories, put it on our website, and put some promotional spots on, and they got applications. Then in June, they called me to say they got some great applications, and in July, they would door knock someone in Erie to say they want a house.
That's amazing, too, because talk a little bit about the impact that this has had on the community, that, as we said, that maybe one phone call or email from ABC kind of blossomed into.
Erie is such a great volunteer community, and now it blossoms into a night in primetime television. Millions of people will hear about Clara and her foundation and everything that she does, but also about Erie and thousands of people coming together along with the Molinos, putting it together, and have a great story to tell.
John, let me bring in John Molino real quick. Kind of amazing to you that all of this happened from just kind of a feeler, so to speak, from ABC, and from there the ball just got rolling.
Amazing. You know, we got involved in it about 3.5 weeks before we actually started the process, just by fluke, and look what it's grown to.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, when you say, look what it's grown to, we are going to have much more on the Molino family, on Molino development, how they were chosen, and why they were so interested in being part of this project. When Erie's Makeover, the stories behind the story, continues.
And welcome back to Erie's Makeover. Sean, it's hard to believe that all these folks behind us once took over East 21st.
I'll tell you what, John Molino told us about 3,000 people involved from pretty much the starting block to where we are now. There's about 1,000 of them in the room right behind us, because what's happening here tonight at the Ambassador Banquet and Conference Center is a huge thank you.
It's a huge thank you. It's a
all of those
party. It's a viewing party.
Right.
And what you see behind us is one room. I can see a door to another room right here where there are a whole ton of people in there watching too.
I know, and there are several other locations around town where I know there are viewing parties
That's
going
right.
on. This was a community-wide effort at the very beginning. It has become a community-wide celebration tonight. Before we went to the commercial, we were talking to John Molino.
Right.
And of course, John and his family, Molino Development, this really doesn't happen without them and without their generosity. And what's remarkable is how they got involved in the first place. They are a family business, and they really took that to heart when it came to this kind of project. It is amazing how they really took this on and embraced the challenge. And we want to show you firsthand a real story behind the story.
Erie's a great place, it's got great people, it's a great place to raise a family. I think my favorite part of the whole thing in reflection is the fact that our family and a bunch of families in the Erie community and the entire city came together and really did a good thing. You know, it's nationally known, the Extreme Home Makeover, and it was really cool to be a part of it.
I think it is unique that so many different contractors came together, but I don't think they came together for a Molino project. They came together for a community project, and that really is the difference. I believe that if we were building a home for someone, we never would have been able to do what we accomplished there. But because we were all donating our time and materials, because it was for this common cause, this community project, it was very easy for people to work side by side where they wouldn't normally do that on a regular construction job.
How cool would it be, you know, if we could do Extreme Home Makeover? My dad had no idea what it was, never watched the show. You know, we explained it to him, he goes, yeah, that would be awesome. So I went back to my computer after the meeting, and I just, you know, I didn't even like look over my spelling or, you know what I mean? I just kind of wrote it in thinking, you know, whatever. And then it was 4 hours later that I got an email back from an executive producer saying, you know, your family sounds like a great fit, your company sounds awesome, can we do a conference call? And, you know, that's when I shot out of my seat and was so excited. And I called my dad and he goes, you have no idea, you know, what this is all about, you know? And I said, I know, but, you know, and then we had the conference call and there it went.
You know, when we first got involved in the project, I was very skeptical of us, our company, being asked to do it. And I just didn't understand why a national TV show and some company, this production company that's been around the country for 6 years previously doing these builds would want to come to Erie, Pennsylvania, and would want to have our company actually be responsible for the construction of the project. But as we went through the process, it made me realize that we really were a good company fit for the show. I think that we are unique in a couple ways, one of which obviously is that we are a family business, that I have 5 of my 7 children working full-time in the business, and a wife that has been involved in the business, and a grandson that works for me, and a sister that works for me, and it just seems that it's a very good family-oriented TV show that a family-oriented construction company would fit in very well with that.
A few from the design team, a few from the build team that came in a few weeks earlier that we got to establish a relationship, which was nice, and great guys. But the whole crew, from the production to the design to the build to the people who coordinated the outside stuff in the neighborhood, truly everybody worked with us, had the same philosophy as our family, and they truly wanted to be there. It wasn't just a job, they actually really cared.
Especially the Molino family. I am a really big fan of them. They've been so good to us, and I'm telling you, I get very emotional when we have certain builders that bring us into their homes. So we spend about 90% of our time on the road, and they've made their home ours. So Thank you to them.
The actual production team, Lock and Key Production, they were really real. It was great to be a part of a show that you could tell they really care. You know, it's not TV to them. I'm sure in some aspects it is, but they all really had genuine hearts. They care about Clara, they care about her family, they care about the story, and it was fun to be a part of something that's way bigger than just you. You know, it's way bigger than one family. It affected a whole community, and you can tell that they're just all about their jobs. They're all about giving back.
There is no question the Molino family builders were perfect for this project. In decades of building homes, they have left their mark on this community. With more than 1,000 houses having already been built, so many have left lasting impressions. Take one Mill Creek Township subdivision known as Love Farms. In this created community, each street is named after a Molino child or a grandchild, truly proving that they are a family of builders.
It's got to be right up there at the tops. I mean, I agree with you, Love Farm is kind of neat. We get a lot of compliments and people talking and teasing, quite honestly, about having your own street name and how we did that subdivision. But this has got to be right up there, simply because you're so drastically changed a community.
You know, I wish I could do something for y'all. I really do. Something fantastic and great.
You give back to the community.
No,
and
you
that's why
take advantage of the facility we build you, and that'll be doing something for us.
That's right. We will.
Even though the Molino family builders put everything they had into this project, they did not let life pass them by. During the build, they had children in the family who were pregnant, and yes, they had one who was getting married. So what better time to have a wedding shower than during the build?
The shower was kind of already planned, so that when we didn't find out we were doing the build until a few weeks prior, so the shower was already been planned, invitations were already sent out, so there was nothing we could do there. So it was kind of, we'll just go ahead and do it and make the best of it. So
It actually seemed to fit.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Well, if you're going to have a wedding shower, you need entertainment. So why not just have the stars of the show, Extreme Makeover Home Edition, perform for you? That's exactly what happened when Paulie and his band performed live.
It was all in place. Actually, my mother said, "Don't you realize that we have a wedding and a shower? Can't you tell them that we have to, move, we can't do it that week. We have a wedding and a shower." So, but we made it work, and it was one of the most memorable summers we'll probably ever have.
Through Extreme Makeover Home Edition, we learned a lot about this Molino family of builders. We learned that they put their heart and soul into their work and into this project. We learned that they did their part to bring an entire community together for one common cause.
How could Erie not be better as a result of what took place this summer? When you saw so many community leaders come together, you saw so many community organizations come together, builders and contractors and hundreds of volunteers put all of their focus and effort on a single project. I think that sort of team building, community building is good for any community, and it was certainly good for Erie, Pennsylvania.
Mike Gallagher with another story behind the story. A remarkable family here in Erie making a huge difference and taking on a responsibility that most people would run from. I'm with three members of the Molino family right now, Jared, Natalie, and Dominic. Thank you all for coming out here tonight and giving us more of your time. Jared, I know it's done. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. It was such an incredible experience, and the whole community came together, and it was amazing. It was a whirlwind, and seeing the pictures on the slides and the video brings back a lot of emotion, brings back a lot of memories that I've already forgot, even though it was just 6 months ago.
Yeah, you won't be able to let go of them for a long time. Natalie, you are here with proof of what all you were going through as your family was trying to make a difference in this community. Tell us about this new baby here and what it was like to be pregnant during all of that chaos.
It was a lot of fun. I actually forgot that I was pregnant during it all because, there was just so much to be done and just so much going on. I actually forgot that I was pregnant. But I'm so excited that he's here tonight and he's healthy and a new addition to our family. So.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Natalie, I said you could have sold tickets tonight to raise money for the Family to Family Fund just by saying the baby's going to be there.
That's right, yeah. He's a blessing, so we're very happy to have him here.
Thank you very much. Dominic, I asked you earlier, did everybody have to agree on this project? Did Dad say we're doing it and you had to? I know there are 7 of you in the family, 5 you said in the business. How do you decide, all right, we have time to do this?
We had a conference call with the Extreme team, and at the end of that hour-and-a-half conference, it was unanimous. All of our brothers and sisters and my father were excited about the project, and we felt our family was a good fit.
Yeah, and Clara's family, obviously a good fit. She was chosen, and you all have gotten to know her like nobody has in this town, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're excited for her and her mission and what she's doing. It was a way for us to give back to her, for her to be able to do what she does.
Molino family, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening, because as much as we're here thanking the volunteers, this is a night to thank you as well. And in our community, we're happy to have you here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, by the way. More stories behind the story when we come back. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We have talked at length already about the fact that this really was a community-wide effort showing Erie in its best light, in the type of town that we all know that Erie is, generous and giving. John Molino has told you that 3,000 people gave of their time, gave of their funding, gave of their materials to make a dream come true for Clara Ward. And 3,000 people means 3,000 different stories, 3,000 different ways that these people got involved in this special project.
Sean, throughout this whole process, I think that there's no question that you would find that someone would inspire you. There's someone here who has a story that would inspire someone else. And then I think that person probably said, hey, you want to check this out, you should come get involved. Right. That has to be how this happened, because I don't know how you can get this many people on the same page for one project in one town.
And when you talk about, I don't know how you don't get inspired when you hear the story of this young lady that we are about to tell you is one of those stories. I don't know how you don't get inspired by hearing about her generosity, by hearing about the hurdles that she has overcome. And she does not want anyone to feel sorry for her for 1 second. She is all about giving back, and she thought that this project, this effort, was the perfect way for her to give back to a community she loves.
From this project, from Extreme Makeover, I learned that Erie is a great place to live, that when you are called upon to help someone, that we have thousands of people that line up to help you, and that there are people out there that care.
We are raffling off a private tour of the house once it's built. No one else can go in it except the designers. $10 to benefit the Molino Family to Family Fund.
I was involved in softball, involved in school activities, involved in everything. And when I got diagnosed, I guess your world just comes crashing down. When your family doctor calls you and says, I need to talk to you right away, your ANA levels are sky high, and we can't handle this. You need to go down to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. I remember that conversation with my mom, and we just hugged each other, and she said, we will get through this. And we just went right down to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, and it started with lupus, and it started with arthritis, and it is inspired to having over 12 autoimmune diseases today.
Among them, cancer.
Yes.
And that is exactly how 21-year-old Courtney Andrews sees it.
As instantly as I heard about it, I knew I was going to get involved. It's such a great opportunity to get involved and to lend a hand.
The Edinboro senior has known the Molino family, who's organizing the construction of Clara Ward's new home, since she was a toddler. You'd never know it, but she's battling cancer, lupus, and a connective tissue disorder.
She has trouble getting up in the morning. Her joints, her muscles are very sore, so she can't always do the things that she wants to do, but she's a fighter and she's trying hard.
Just like she was Sunday, fresh off a round of chemotherapy, selling raffle tickets for the family-to-family fund.
That was such a testament to her character, and it's one of those things that as a reporter, it's one of those encounters you hope to have, because you meet people, so many names and faces floating around every day, and then you run across people like that who inspire you to be a better person. You think to yourself, what if I was in that situation? How would I react if I was fighting a terrible disease and trying to keep all this stuff together? And I just, she was extraordinary.
At 16 and 17, I really couldn't understand that I was that sick for Make-A-Wish. But as going through the process with Make-A-Wish, I was so thrilled, and I knew the second I heard about it that I wanted to do something for my family, because when you have an illness or a disease, it doesn't just affect you, it affects your family. So I decided to go on a family trip to Hawaii with my family, so we all could have a week where we didn't think of doctors and we didn't think of diagnosis or prognosis or medicine, and could just live life for a week.
All that you made tonight?
All that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
People are generous.
I know, it's
We
wonderful.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I think the ultimate gift in life is giving back, and I think that everyone has their own story and everyone has their own problems, but if everyone puts that aside every once in a while, that we can make a better place. And we did that for Clara and for Extreme Makeover, and we made a huge difference. And if everyone just puts things aside and helps other people and gives back, the world will be a better place.
Boys and girls, I'm Miss Andrews. I'm going to be working with Miss Jet today.
And I think it takes a lot of energy every day to be a teacher, because, matter of fact, I just told my husband last night, I said, you don't understand, I'm tired. He's like, you need to work out. I'm like, no, it's very physically demanding to be a teacher, and I think for her situation, to go through what she's going through to do this is brave, and she has the energy, and everybody loves her here. And they're like, you have a wonderful field student, she's great. And the kids love her, and she just is full of energy, and I don't think it puts her down, where some people it may.
I don't want to be defined by my illness. I want to be Courtney Andrews. I want to make an impact on this world. And since I was 2, I wanted to be a teacher. And I love kids, and that is my dream in life. And I will not let any disease or illness stop me from succeeding in my dreams.
I just don't know what else to say. I mean, words can't say what I mean in my heart. Words cannot express how I feel about you guys.
When I heard the story about Clara Ward, I was so excited that she had her own story and she was still helping others and helping lots of kids. She gave me the inspiration to say, okay, today I don't feel well, but tomorrow, if I can make a difference and to help, she's doing it, I can do it too.
Among the special people here tonight, Courtney Andrews. You saw her selling the raffle tickets at the perimeter there at the house. Apparently, she's never stopped selling the tickets to raise money for the Molino Family-to-Family Fund, because that's exactly what she was doing here, continuing to help out with this amazing effort that will continue to make a difference in the Erie community. Her story, as we said, one of 3,000 volunteers involved, but definitely a very special one, and we are proud and we are honored that she shared her story with us. Talking about those volunteers, John, come on back in here. John Molino from Molino Development. Boy, when you talk about the volunteers and you hear the stories like Courtney's and like the one we're about to tell, I can see the smile. It's got to make you smile.
Oh, it was a great part of the experience, having these people come up to you and work hours and hours and then thank you afterwards for having the opportunity to do the work.
Well, let's talk. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's talk about the gentleman right here, Mike the Volunteer, as you dubbed him when we were talking.
Mike was just a volunteer. He came up to me about 2 o'clock in the morning on the second night of the build, suggested that he could help us out. I told him to go home and get some tools and come back and we'd find a job for him. He did that, and he worked for about 14 hours straight after that and came back every day afterwards. He was just amazing volunteer.
All right, let's bring him on in here quickly. Like I said, John Molino kind of dubbed him Mike the Volunteer to me. I know him now as Mike Dabrowski. Mike, nice job. Fantastic. What got you so interested in this project?
Erie's a family community, right? And volunteering and helping somebody special, that needs something done is very important. I went to Mississippi after Katrina and helped down there, right? And I came back home and this was going, and I heard about John's project, and I said, okay, let me go talk to the man. I talked to him, he said he needed a hand, and I stayed around. And I mean, it was worthwhile to me. They're a great bunch of guys. I mean, they did more than a lot of people would have done in their lives.
And the rest, as they say, is history, right, Mike?
Yes, there is.
Nice job.
Thank you.
We're glad to see you here. We're glad you could be here.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike.
Have a good day.
When we come back, more stories behind the story. We'll be right back.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the thank you party for the volunteers who made things happen on East 21st, the 600 block, Clara Ward's house, where it all came down and it went back up in a hurry.
Yeah, Clara's Way, as the city knows it now.
It's now known as Clara's Way. And what we've discovered along the way, as we're watching Clara's Way develop, is that this city was going to be impacted no matter what.
Right.
Not just on that block, though.
Right. And the work, remarkably, spread out for blocks in either direction. This wasn't just about one piece of property. This wasn't just about one family. The Extreme Makeover people really made this about a neighborhood in the city of Erie.
Take a look at some of the changes and some of the improvements made throughout our entire city.
Monday morning. We're just a couple days into the build here, and I've got to tell you, in all the years I've been doing this, my father's been in the business over 33 years now. I have never seen a spirit like this, a unity. This is amazing.
Yeah, here's the thing though, the overhang is different, so we need to make sure that it's the same, and then we'll build the beam out so that the overhang's right.
I think the amount of people here, everybody's got a good heart, Everybody wants to do good for the community, and it's good to give back,
It's very clear what happened to Clara's home was special, but this project went far beyond one home and one family. In fact, volunteers and construction workers worked a 2-block area, doing everything possible to make a community better.
Awesome thing I ever seen.
Why?
And just to be on the set, because they're doing stuff for the neighborhood. There's another lady down the street, they're helping her out also. They gutted her porch out, and and they're fixing up the whole neighborhood. That's the most wonderful thing I've ever seen.
I think this neighborhood is better because of this project. I mean, like you said, this wasn't just about Clara Ward's house. We had people within the community coming together and making upgrades to houses all in that neighborhood, up and down the street. We had volunteers working on the landscape, putting ramps in for handicapped people. This wasn't just about Clara Ward, it was about keeping that momentum going and making Erie a better place to live, giving people a reason to drive through the streets and be proud of where they live, to see that when you do come together, that you can make something happen, not just about one person, one family, but about an entire community.
Throughout the week, it's taken thousands of volunteers and the trades to make this project happen. But what really made it special is that thousands of Erie fans and residents of the show and of this family were willing to stand outside just to watch it all come together. And when the network cameras were rolling, they did their part, which will truly make this a special episode once it reaches the airwaves of ABC.
The most incredible thing we've ever experienced. Absolutely intense. You know what? We did it!
There's my early rising painters. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can you believe that in just a matter of minutes, our community is going to make its network debut? Oftentimes you think, you know what, if we're in the spotlight, we want to look as good as possible. Sometimes you don't have a choice over what you're being covered for. In this case, I'm here with Mayor Joe Sennett tonight. You have to be proud that we're going to make network standing tonight for something that's absolutely remarkable.
I'm very pleased about it. I'm very pleased that the whole world is going to see how this community came together and got this done. It really was a magnificent effort.
Mayor Sennett, I think when you know that we've been chosen and one family is going to be helped, you think that's great. You never imagine that it's going to reach out into the entire city. That had to make you proud to see the changes right before your very eyes.
It made me very happy. You saw the neighborhoods come together and do other work. You saw some of the churches come in and do some work in the adjoining properties, but also through the Molino Family to Family Fund. That vision, we'll keep that going in this community, and that's the really important part of this. It's not about one television show. It's not about one house. It's about the community coming together to take care of our own, not one time, but on a perpetual basis, and I think that's great.
How would you say thank you to the thousands of people in here tonight at their very own party to say thanks?
Well, you know, I did go up and I tried to thank them as best I could. It's very hard because, you know, all these folks came out and spent a lot of time. There's no way to thank them for what they did. I hope that they get the gratification that we all feel from it, and I think they do.
Mayor Sennett, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
And that gift kept on giving. You have to remember that Clara started out helping kids in her community. That's what this was all about. And then someone comes along and says, we're going to help her out with that. Mike Gallagher is standing by with more on that story. Mike?
Thank you, Selena. We know what the city did, but so many players in this one, among them two of the biggest. Nick Scott of Scott Enterprises with all they've done. In fact, we're here in his home for this special party, and President Dr. Thomas Gamble of Mercyhurst College. Mr. President, I'll start with you. Talk about what Mercyhurst has done to make sure that this giving will continue for decades to come.
Well, what we decided to do, Mike, is because Clara Ward cares so much about those kids in that neighborhood, is give $100,000 worth of scholarships, Mercyhurst money, scholarships for the kids that Clara Ward recommends and are eligible for enrollment at Mercyhurst. We think that's the kind of gift that really honors Clara's work in a way that's profound and powerful.
So this is bettering our community for a long time to come.
Absolutely. It's education, if anything, is the gift that keeps on giving.
Mr. Scott, it's no secret what your corporation has done over the years. This project's special.
It's very special. We feel very honored to be a part of it. We were excited about getting involved in it, and we think we were the perfect match for the Molinos on this project.
And continuing to give.
And continuing to give, and one of the great things that happened was when the crew was here and working, the ABC crew said they had never been treated as nicely or with as much concern and entertainment as they were in Erie, Pennsylvania. That made us feel pretty good.
Super. We feel really good about what you've both done and what everybody's done, and so much more of this show yet to come, and the show is coming up. But Erie's Makeover continues live from the Ambassador Center after this break.
Welcome back live to the Ambassador Banquet and Conference Center for the viewing party for Erie's Extreme Makeover. We are not that far away now, and you can kind of feel the excitement building up in the room. And you just mentioned how the folks that Michael talked to, Tom Gamble and Nick Scott and the other folks associated with them, reached out to help out Clara and to help out her effort, as well as the Extreme Makeover.
Sean, there's not just a promise with words that this will continue to thrive, that there will be a continued giving spirit in Erie. There's been pen to paper, there's a fund that's started, and here's what that's all about.
And yes. 20 city people, let's move in somewhere!
I hope with the community involvement, this starts something personally. I would love to see this be a domino effect and some positive really come out of this.
It's an amazing crowd just to see the community out and the number of people that have helped put this house together. So it's fun to watch and glad to be part of it.
Pretty surreal, you know. I mean, I wanted to jump on the opportunity, and whether it was on TV or not, I would have still done it. You know, exposure or no exposure, I still would have been here. That's just how I am.
I think that if I could share something with the public going forward from the showing of this highlight of Erie, is to keep in mind the family-to-family fund, to make sure that we all feel a really good sense of pride and joy by completing this project, and to make sure that those feelings that we have today relate in the future to other projects, for them to come back out and volunteer again, to donate some materials to us, to give us checks, to make sure that the experience that Clara Ward had, again, not to the same level that Clara had, but to some degree that we're able to let other people share that experience as well, to make sure that there are other East 21st Streets in Erie that get renovated, that get a new sense of energy, and the community can share what they have done there to other places in the future.
Yes, this night is all about sharing the very best of what Erie, Pennsylvania has to offer with the world via national television. But when the cameras are gone and the lights are down, the giving will continue, thanks to the Molino Family to Family Fund.
And we'll be here to report on the many great things that the Molino family do through their Family to Family Fund as time goes on, as this project was really the impetus and the launching pad for what I think will be a great program that will continue to reap benefits for Erie individuals and families down the road as more and more projects happen.
St. Martin Center partnered with Molino Family to Family Fund in order to help other families in the Erie area that maybe are not so well off and need some emergency home repairs, or just some things that they just can't do. They don't have the money, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the ability to do it. And it's keeping with more St. Martin Center. We like to do some warm and fuzzy stuff too. We don't just do foreclosure here. We do pre-purchase. We do reverse mortgage, lots of pre-purchase education. We hope that would eliminate having to see anybody on a foreclosure note. And then doing Family to Family Fund is an extremely warm and fuzzy thing, because we get to see people that are happy, people that are being successful homeowners, but have a few things that they just can't take care of themselves.
I know that we've been very involved with a lot of housing issues, so that it really was kind of heartfelt to be able to be part of this and to take it forward. And again, going with the pay it forward. So we really want to be involved, and with everything else that we're doing with the Molino Family to Family Fund, we know that it's just going to keep getting bigger and better.
And the Family to Family Fund is already paying off. 57-year-old Pat Vonzalia was the first recipient after Extreme Makeover Home Edition came to Erie. 10 years ago, she was injured in a car accident and was left paralyzed from the waist down. She was unable to use just the simple things in her home, like the sink, the dishwasher, the washer and dryer. Well, the fund came through, surprised her, and changed her life.
Hallelujah! Oh my gosh! I can't even breathe! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, this is so beautiful! Oh.
Well, there were some things that we still need to find replacements for.
You did way more than you said.
wheelie? This is so great. Oh my gosh, when you said a full deck, you weren't kidding. This is so great, and I can get in without struggling. This is so great. Thank you to everybody. Unless you're disabled or you're in that position, you have no idea how the little things matter so much, and it really has truly impacted my life in so many ways that it's really hard to put into words. But I am forever grateful there in my prayers every day, and that this continues on, and they really are a godsend, and hopefully that other people will step on the bandwagon and this can continue.
And it still had the same feeling, but you know, we were still scrambling to get everything done, and you know, so it was fun. It was a great experience.
Of course, there is that beautiful home, Clara Ward's new home on East 21st Street. There are also all the memories of the thousands of volunteers, the community that came together to make it happen. But such a huge part of the legacy of what happened during that 1 week in the summer is the Molino Family to Family Fund, because this means that the project will keep giving to the Erie region. And I know that, John, that was a huge part of this entire effort for you, is making sure that this kept on giving back to the city, right?
Well, it was. We didn't realize that when we got into the project, but as we got into it, we saw how giving the community was, and what a need there is for other people to be taken care of like Clara was.
Let's talk about Pat Franzalia and the project that you did so quickly after the build. You probably were still tired from the Extreme Makeover build when you were redoing Pat's home. Just the little things that have made her life around that house so much better, so different, right?
Well, we helped her in little ways, but it certainly wasn't to the magnitude that we did the makeover house. But that's the type of thing that we want to do in the future. Just smaller projects, not to the same scale as the first.
And that's what the Family to Family Fund will be helping take care of around the community, right?
That's right. We've had more than 50 applications for that fund already. Thank goodness we have the St. Martin Center to decipher through those and make sure we get to the most needy people there are.
Well, and what a great family the Franzalias were. I mean, just a priceless reaction when Pat came through the door, wasn't it?
Couldn't have been happier, could she?
No, she couldn't. It was amazing. It had to make you feel amazing.
It makes everything worthwhile.
All right. We're going to talk about what you can do now to help out the Family to Family Fund, because at this time tomorrow, we will be in the midst of a 12-hour telethon on JET TV. We are asking you to help the Family to Family Fund. A little bit more about that telethon. Again, the General Manager and Vice President at JET, Tim Dunst. Tim, explain the telethon, how it's going to work, and how people can help out.
Starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow live on JET TV. Goes until 9 p.m. We'll have station talent involved. And it's simple as this. We'll have numbers on the screen. Call in and please make a donation to the Molino Family to Family Fund. Why
is it important for us to be a part of the Family to Family Fund as this project goes on and builds its own legacy?
Well, for the TV station, it's part of what we should do and will do as part of the community. For the community itself, it's a matter of let's please give a little bit more financially, and let's keep this going for many, many years. As I said to John a few minutes ago, with his kids and his grandkids, this is going to go on a long time to help people in need, and we're proud to be a part of it. So tomorrow, please check in the TV station from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and that's your chance through us to help out.
Right, and even though it'll be a couple of times an hour, people can call in with a donation to the Family Fund all day long.
You bet. We'll keep the calls up on the screen, but it's all day, even when we're not live on the air with it. We're there to answer the phones. So the numbers will be on the screen tomorrow. They're toll-free numbers. Please call in.
All right, fantastic. Tim, John, thanks again. We'll be talking to you before the show is over with. And when we come back, really the moment of the hour for us, because we will get to talk to tonight's guest of honor and her family, Clara Ward, coming up next as we continue with the stories behind the story.
And welcome back, everyone. If you ever have that feeling like you're in the presence of celebrity, that's what I feel like, Clara. I feel like I finally get to meet you for the first time. And I told you earlier, I think you're a remarkable speaker, better than I could ever be. Sean, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but Clara, it touched my heart. You said, I'm living in a dream. This is a dream world for me.
Yeah. Yes, it is, certainly. Like Alice in Wonderland or any princess, you know. And they make me feel like I'm a prince. They brought me flowers. Did you see that big bouquet of flowers John Molino brought to me while they were there? And it's just awesome. Everything is, I mean, all these people here, I can't believe it that they are still working with me. They're still helping me and being there, you know, for me and wanting to see me and want to hear what I have to say. And I really don't know what, you know, what to say. I can't thank him enough, you know. It's just so awesome. It really is.
Well, obviously, there are a lot of people who believe the same about you, Claire. John, earlier tonight, called you the star and the hero of what has happened. Has it sunken in what your project, what your home, what this has meant to the Erie community?
Well, I guess in a way it has, because the children are coming over and they say, well, why don't you just let me move in here? So they have the right idea. They want to stay there. I don't want to leave it. And so that's so beautiful. And all I have to do is just roll out into the activity room to work with the children. So that's a marvelous thing to have to deal with, because before I'd have to go out in the weather and all of that. Now I'm at home. And it works.
Let me ask you about the children, because this is ultimately for you what it was all about, right?
Yes, that's for sure.
Clara's Way Youth Development Center, as it's officially known now, right?
That's correct. That is correct. And the children, they love it. They are so ecstatic about it. They walk in there and you should see the little eyes light up and they look all up and they say, oh my goodness. They sound like I feel within my heart. That is such an awesome thing, you know. It's such an awesome thing. I don't know. I can't say it enough, I can't see it enough, and I can't live it enough. It's just so awesome.
And Clara, as you say that, we have a lot of people to say thank you to, because it took some work to get this show tonight. Here are some of those folks we'd like to say thank you to.
Believe it or not, we are now less than 1 minute away from the big moment when Erie will shine on national television.
Absolutely. And you know what? Clara just told me she has family watching in Florida, California. They're all watching, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And hello, everybody. We love you.
It's going to be just a couple of seconds. We're down now to 15 seconds, and they're giving me the time cues in my ear. Sean, we're approaching 10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.